What's up, guys? Sub-Zeric here, back for another VOD review. Before we get into it, though, there was a B patch today. I feel like I was one of the people saying it was pretty likely there was going to be a B patch on Monday. Some people doubted me and said that there wasn't going to be a B patch, but I was right, as I am every single time, all the time. And it's a pretty huge B patch, addresses basically all of the broken stuff. So let's go through the B patch real quick, and then we're gonna get into today's VOD. So tiny team bonus, 200% out of 150%, huge nerf. This augment is still probably, quite acceptable in the lines that it is acceptable in, because this was just insane before. Speaking of insane, fan service nerfed pretty significantly, the HP and the resists taking a pretty big hit. So both of those being hit pretty hard. Socialite has been removed from the game completely, so no longer do you have to fish for Socialite at every single opportunity. And Veteran also, the one that gives like Katarina and all of those guys mentor, Katarina, Callista, and then somebody else stupid that I remember and then forget. It pairs up with one of the other mentors. I know that. It's not a duelist. It's Katarina, Callista, and an edgelord. Zaya, I think, was a veteran. In any case, been removed completely for now, because it did have a chance of bugging out and just like not working at all. So that is gone from the game. Also some nerfs to a lot of important champions, important reroll champions. Jhin, 4th shot damage being hit decently hard. This is only on his 4th shot damage, so it's only on that, but it's still, 4th shot is a lot of his damage. Kai'Sa's damage being hit pretty decently. You also might see a cattail come past you in a second. She is walking on my wow, she actually managed to get her she's literally like right here is a giant cat head right now, but you guys can't see it. Rakan, his ability of damage has been nerfed, so not the biggest problem with Rakan, but obviously in combination with the fan service nerfs, pretty significant. Mal's can't get Shadow Clone anymore, which was his best power up. Malzahar's damage has also been hit. A small little nerf to it, but quite reasonable. Ashe got buffed up a bit, Karma got buffed up a bit, Leona got buffed up a little bit. Drift Duo works now on Senna, and they bug fixed all of the legs to correctly work and give you everything. That's it. Just all of that in the bug fixes for today's patch. So yeah, I mean, just pretty crazy, honestly, to get a patch of this size. But oh my god, why is my game so loud? It feels like maybe I just have my my volume up really high or something. Yeah, okay, it's just I have my volume up really high. I was like, wow, it sounds so loud for me. But yeah, a huge B patch that I think does nerf a lot of the stuff that people were upset about, certainly. And so the question is now, after all of this, what is meta? And this B patch has only been out for about 5 hours, so it's going to take some time for the meta to stabilize and us actually get to, a better understanding for what stuff is strong versus is weak right now. But the comp that I want to VOD review today is a comp that I have not VOD reviewed yet, but it is one of these premier lines that didn't actually get nerfed at all on this patch. Also, honestly, you can't see the kitty. It's the only, maybe I'll move a little bit there and you can see just your ear. Okay. EO Beyond Measures, as far as I know, I've heard conflicting things about whether it still works or not. We are just going to take the trade sector. Man, trade sector, honestly, going up so much in priority this patch. We throw the Nefir on the board. We're going to make Guinsoo Edge of Night. And so this is the idea, this game. This is the idea of this game, which I think is so interesting, is we're just going to slam from start Guinsoo Edge of Night. And if you guys haven't played this comp before, you might be like, what are these slams? But the idea is we're going to play a Viego game from this spot. If you guys have not played this Viego comp at all, it is really, really, really nice. The idea is very similar to Stretchy Arms GP in the past. You put the Guinsoo's Rageblade onto a Stretchy Arms unit, Edge of Night to make sure that he lives, and then usually last damage item. It's oftentimes like JG last, can be healing if you have to, but honestly I do really like JG last item on him. Also, Daisy she's following around JD's little legend. Is so funny. Like if I move my cursor, you can see her move her head a bit, which is so funny. But this is the idea from JD, is that the spot is good enough where we can essentially just force Viego here from 0 Viegos, because we have great slams onto Neferi, and Neferi can hold these items very well until we make it to Viego, and we can just play this board and be quite happy with it. So I think it's a cool idea to kind of tempo these items and then say we'll eventually find Viego type stuff. So a very nice opener here into a line that, like I said, not nerfed at all. Viego received no nerfs. There's no like stretchy arms or anything like that. So I fully expect this line to be one of the dominant reroll lines on the patch after the B patch changes, because yeah, like if you can end up in a spot where you get stretchy arms, you are going to feel very, very, very good. We pop this here going into carousel to try to give us some better optionality. Like I said, JG generally going to be the last slam onto this guy, so I think that will be our pickup if we can get it. We will see if it gets yoinked here. JD opted to take the sword here, and yeah, he's actually going to make GS here. Had the opportunity to make JG and said he would prefer to make GS here. We've talked so much about GS over the past few days, about just how broken this item is in general. It is the single best damage item on almost any unit just because of the buffs to it. And so yeah, he actually, in JD's opinion, this is BIS, because he had the opportunity to make JG and opted to make GS instead. And I don't think that's a crazy statement whatsoever, especially because Viego is a frontline unit. He is going to be front to backing so frequently. He's got to get through the front line first, so build a GS onto it makes perfect sense. And so yeah, we are good with our items at this point. And having triple items onto the Neferi with Midas Touch, I think this is just such a smart way to play out the opener, where, you know, I think a lot of people would be afraid to play this comp if you don't start with the Viego, because, well, what if we just always miss? Well, what if we miss on the Viego? But I mean, if you win streak long enough, I mean, you can just kind of delay your roll down for a long time and eventually just roll very, very late, you know, 4-1 or something, and find your first Viego then. And if you're allowed to win streak up until then, it's totally acceptable. So I think this makes a lot of sense. And we're just gonna play this opener. We can scout around. This is on the new patch. I thought about VOD reviewing somebody on the old patch, and then I thought, you know what, I can get one of these VODs on the new patch. So we have a Mundo Hero Augment guy, someone playing Kaisa as well. So it'd be interesting to keep an eye on ice barriers, just because Kaisa is one of those lines that was nerfed. And oh, there is our first Viego here. It is a question, I guess, if you want to move items already. I do think Neferi is just such a good unit at 2-star that you probably do just keep items here on the Neferi for a while, but we will see. The rest of the items, so you can start building towards Samira items. She is oftentimes your duo carry in the setup, so you could just make like an LW. It's not amazing though. You can also look for like support items for Viego, so you can look for stuff like Red Buff, Ionic Spark, so that you have that, you know, that MR Shred and that damage, the heal cut. Lux does provide you with a little bit of MR Shred, but she's not the most reliable unit, so I'm not, you know, the biggest fan of relying on her for that. All right, second Augment here. Man, I mean, it could be Golden Quest, honestly. That takes us down a very different line, but I mean, we're win streaking here. We're not the richest in the world, but we're not that unrich here. And 100 streaking? I mean, isn't it with gold augment? I mean, slight gold augment, but gold power up as well. Isn't it Golden Quest? I mean, aside from that, you could just take like a Noble Sacrifice or something, make your board a little tankier. Another one, I don't really see the usage of it, but I'm actually interested. Yeah, it rolls it first. Wow. I mean, I think he just wants something quite stable. Yeah, the Noble Sac, and he just opts to take that here and say, you know what, I'm just going to take the stable augment that I know is always going to be good in this spot here. So it's a pretty smart call from JT here. You know, I think there is a lot of value to not overcomplicating your game plan sometimes. Sometimes in TFT, people, they're really overcooked. Guys, I messed up. I tried to set my camera to get this very cute angle of my cat, and I accidentally turned off the recording. I just wasted 10 minutes recording this video that I'm going to have to edit out because I accidentally muted my mic. But you get a great angle of the kitty, and I guess my poster's in the background. So, I mean, win-win for you guys. And now I have spoiled myself on this game. This game goes into a very interesting realm, actually. So we have the Viego 2 at this point. We are going to itemize him with Edgemite Guinsu GS, as we have built already. And, you know, this is our board for now here. I love the Udyr plus the Udyr plus on the Swain to get Bastion, Duelist, Juggernaut, Sork, and Mentor onto this board. I mean, it's the two best units you can fit with with 4 Soul Fighter on this board, so it makes a lot of sense. But we have to go for Midas Touch onto the Viego. Now that he's 2-star, obviously he's a better item carry. Going into Carousel here, we have the bow, the rod, and the or the bow, the cloak, and the glove open here. I believe I talked about this, but I'm jumbled because this is my second time recording this. MR Shred, obviously really nice. You can go for stuff like Ionic Spark. You can go for stuff like Red Buff, and JD here. He looks at the belt actually a little bit, interestingly enough, but ends up finally taking the rod here and just gonna make the Ionic Spark onto the Xin Zhao here, which once again it makes a lot of sense. So we're gonna stick on this board for now. Yeah, just a very solid mid-game board. I mean, 8 streak, though we do rotate into this giant heavyweights board here with the Kobuko 2. Just so many huge units to get through, and the Malzahar, and they're stacking up HP here with the investment strategy. So we are, I think, finally going to lose our win streak. I know, actually, because I've seen this fight already. We're finally going to lose our win streak here. Get another power-up fruit here. It's kind of interesting because, like, I don't know. I would be... That was my cat hitting the escape button on my keyboard. You could actually power up like Swain here and just say, oh, well, we're gonna, like roll down, change our board next round on level 7, very likely. But he opts to just throw it onto the Xin Zhao here and just say, I want to be as strong as possible right now. I am gonna take Adaptive Skin onto him and just put the power up onto him in this spot here. Also, we rotate into this this Starry Night board, which honestly, pretty close fight that we end up losing. And they're also, I didn't even realize, they're aura farming Starry Night with Tesla Coil. This is actually such a woke spot from that player. That's actually so cool. I think that was I Am Not Clever, which, I mean, they're kind of low, but it's such a, I don't know, it's a cool spot. All right, gonna use some of our rerolls here just to try to hit everything. We do get 6 Soul Fighter in now, which is the kind of standard level 7 version of the board here. Item-wise here, we do pick up Red Buff as well, like we talked about, as a good kind of utility item to play. And oh yeah, the thing that I must say is that we did hit Gwen on our first roll, which it happens. Okay, honestly, everything in TFT, there's positives and negatives. And Kitty, I did all of this work. I literally messed up my VOD, and he was sitting on my desk the entire last VOD. Somebody is gonna be like, release the cat cut. Now I gotta swap my cam back up here because the cat just jumped off my... Well, at least now you guys can see my beautiful face talking out the entire VOD. Unceasing Piercing Sight, Crown's Will. None of these augments I'm that excited about. Climb the Ladder I do like a lot in this comp here just because you are playing Vertical Soul Fighter. But JD actually makes a really interesting choice here. He does not opt for Climb the Ladder. Opts for Healing Orbs. And it makes sense. We're playing melee carry, melee tank. These units, I mean, they get a lot of value out of being healed. We obviously have no healing built onto Viego. We have Unflinching on him for now, but we are probably ideally not going to have that forever. So the healing I do think is obviously valuable onto a unit like Viego, but it's kind of surprising to me just because I imagine Climb the Ladder is so good. I think his idea is that, Viego really wants just upfront, boom, 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 to start working right from the start. And so, if we take Climb the Ladder, especially with a melee unit like Viego, I mean, how many Soul Fighters are actually going to die before Viego? I mean, certainly not Lux or Gwen. So you're just looking at maybe Neferi and then Set dying and giving stats to Viego. I mean, I can see why the value proposition just isn't there when our main focus on this board is the Viego. The other thing that I thought was weird, and I talked about this in my other version of the VOD, is that we haven't moved items to Gwen. I think you should immediately move these items to Gwen. I think this is just an oversight from JD here. And also, that is such a tragic fight to lose, but it happens. Tier open here. I mean, could be last Gwen item. I mean, there's a Gwen on Carousel. I'll definitely take a blue buff Gwen pair, but I mean, that would just be unreasonable if we get it. And yes, it is unreasonable. So I don't know. I'd take like Cloak here. Worst case, you just make like Adaptive Helm, throw that onto to Gwen here. So yeah, gonna continue to roll every round, use our free roll and just roll, see if we can find some stuff here. But you'll also see something kind of interesting from JD here is he's opening himself up to the other 3 stars. He's opening himself up to Lux 3, opening himself up to Xin Zhao 3. Yeah, I think this is the round where he tries to remove the Lux at the last second, then runs out of time, which I do think just goes to show that he did want to move items off of Lux, just kind of was trying to figure out, what he wanted to roll for, what he wanted to do itemization-wise, and so it took him a while. I mean, this is a fight where you can see the value of healing orbs. That Viego healed so much, just sliding around the entire board, so I could see the argument for it. Xin Zhao here, pretty awkward, actually. Well, he opts to sell the Callista, and, I mean, gets rewarded. He hits Xin Zhao on the next roll here. This just means we don't have the Callista for for 8 Soul Fighter, if we certainly, I think we will want to play that here. Rotating to the Starry Night board again, this guy has hit everything at this point and has the Seraphine 2 in. So this guy's actually probably quite strong now. Yeah, gonna win this fight. I mean, Starry Night, another one of those comps that was not nerfed at all this patch. And if everything else gets nerfed and your comp doesn't get nerfed, that's usually a pretty big buff for your comp. So yeah, we are still looking at Lux 3 as the out here. It's kind of funny because like, I half wonder if Lux 3 is better than Gwen with these items, just because Gwen's going to spread the red buff so well. Another Viego out of Orb there is great. I'm going to pick up a Callista here, and then the second we find Viego, we have to pop this. I mean, I think you just make last tank item here, Warmogs, or you could also make... we are going to power up here, look for the stretchy arms again. Don't get it! So we're going to be forced to take... I mean, final boss, I guess, here for the Omni and the stacking damage amp. Yeah, we are going to take final boss here. But it's actually, I mean, we high rolled the Gwen, but honestly, like, I think if JD had the option of saying either I high roll the Gwen or I high roll these stretchy arms, he probably would have gone the other way and say I'd prefer to just high roll the stretchy arms. It's funny how these things work. The upside is, though, it does allow us to play 8 Soul Fighter right here. If we want to. Yeah, JD actually kind of trying to figure out in his head what board he wants to play here, because it's tough. You don't love dropping the Udyr because you lose Duelist and you lose Mentor. When I've played this comp before, I've tried playing 6 Soul Fighter for Jug, just because losing Duelist does feel quite bad for Viego. The upside is 8 Soul Fighter is a big buff here. We hit set 2. And yeah, he is actually going to switch back into the 8 Soul Fighter here. So JD in his head just kind of trying to like figure out, okay, what is actually the best variant of the board? And obviously, later, if we can push level, then we can get Udyr in. But I mean, that's not guaranteed. And he is also going to sell off the Luxes, sell off the extra Udyr 2 we have on bench, and just say, I want to get to 9 as quickly as possible to fit this Udyr back in on this board here, because it's a lot of attack speed lost onto the Viego. I think let me pull up a stats check while we're here. But I recall looking at this comp, and like the stats for the comp did really like. But I should exclude Soul Fighter Emblem. Maybe that was my mistake. But if you look at level 8. And you look at Luna units. Let's look at item off carousel here. Last Gwen item, Nash Shores, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the delta for Udyr is negative on this board, which is interesting. Though to be fair, if you look at the delta for 8 Soul Fighter, it is also negative. But the stats kind of say you should play Udyr, which is interesting enough. I mean, I could fill out the entire team planner with all of the guys, but I'm kind of interested to see what it's like. It still says negative delta for Udyr, so like the stats like playing Udyr, but you know, could be a quirk of the stats. Some of that's gonna be like, I don't know, wandering dummies and stuff like that. I guess I filtered out Soul Fighter Emblem, though I don't know if that, I think that does count the dummies. So I don't know. It's an interesting idea, though, whether you... Because, I mean, 8 Soul Fighter these days, I mean, it's still quite a big jump, honestly, and it does give you access to that Prismatic, though. I think at this point in the game, 5'6", 53 HP, everyone else super, super low here. I don't think you're actually looking at the Prismatic at this point. Well, maybe that's not that crazy. Maybe that's obvious, but yeah, here. Take another pretty... rough loss, actually. I mean, I do think at this point we are just really looking for level up, hit the Gwen 2, hit, add the Udyr to the board and feel good. You could also find like Lee Sin 2 and play him as Duelist Lee Sin. I do think until Lee Sin 2, you do play the Udyr because you want that mentorship bonus on the board. And this last item a bit awkward. We do get a dupe here, so that could have been Lux 3, but like I said, I still don't really know if you would even play Lux 3 here. I mean, I guess you just take set item here, Bramble Vest. Yeah, just gonna, and yeah, he could actually move over. You could even move Spark over, but he doesn't want to go for that here. And actually a little surprised we don't go for the level here. Power of Movers looks again and does not find it. So now we're on Unflinching, which it's CC immunity, I guess, but probably versus the boards that don't have a ton of CC worse than Final Boss here. We do clear this, wow, the Aura Farming and Starry Night board. So good win there for JD. Gonna level up here and then roll to hopefully find his Gwen 2. He does find it. We can roll down as well, and we have this dupe here for Udyr if we want it. He uses the dupe actually on Callista too, just to have some kind of upgrade on this board. And I mean, I can see why. Just getting all these upgrades in is quite good. All right. Well, the Unflinching will be great against this Braum. CC immunity into him is huge here. So that's something at least. But we are going to yeah, just clear Bruce Lull's board here. And so it's just JD and Setsuko here for the top 2. I mean, what a crazy journey. And once again, I mean, goes to show, right? Stretchy arms is the idea behind this comp. You want stretchy arms when you play for it. At any point in the game, had we been offered stretchy arms, we would have taken it. But we're top 2 without it. Just shows that this comp is not 100% a stretchy arms check. You can just take good power-ups, hit your board, and if you make it there with good econ, you're in a good spot. Also, it's interesting to see how this mouse comp performs here. This comp's been nerfed pretty significantly, and it's still looking decent, though I think we are clearing Mr. Sucko here. His power-ups, by the way, are it's Fusion Dance and Golden Glove. I saw that he had the Koboko early, but I didn't even realize that it was just Golden Gloves Koboko here. So is Fusion Dance eating a big Aatrox? And then is he eating this? He was eating the Koboko, right? I mean, it's a Koboko with an insane amount of AD. You do eat him with this is a woke setup from Setsuko, actually, the Golden Gloves. And yeah, eating. Let me click on this guy and see 483 basic AD, 330%. Oh my god, that is one big guy, but not big enough for the destruction of the enemy board. He ends up losing to JD, and it's a first for jdzielinski with just showing off perfectly how to play around this Viego comp. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Twitch, my Spotify. I'm links down below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks always for watching. Bye.